What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. So in this one, I just kind of want to talk about my darts journey. I started uploading YouTube videos on here about a year ago for Bullshot Darts, and we've been growing. So thank you all so much to everyone that has subscribed and, commented, shared, liked, and, any kind of support that you guys have given me along the way. I appreciate it so much. So I just want to get a little personal with you guys and just kind of go over, well, my darts journey so far, my darts goals, my goals for Bullshot Darts, and, well, just all this good stuff. So comment down below how you guys got started into darts, because that's going to be part of this video for myself. And also hit that subscribe button, and here we go. So I grew up shooting darts every now and then because my grandpa owned a bar. So my dad would take my brother and I there, and, whenever we would go, we would get some hot dogs, some kitty cocktails, thinking we're cool, hanging out at the bar, and we would shoot some darts. Me and my brother were so small, we couldn't throw darts like the normal way. We would watch my dad throw, and my dad could stand there and throw, and me and my brother tried, and we couldn't even get the darts to the board. So, we kind of threw like baseball. We're standing all the way back, chucking them as hard as we can at the board. So I always liked darts as a kid growing up, but then I really started falling in love with it when my best friend brought a dartboard over. So he lived across the street from me, so we hung out pretty much every single day. And our sport of choice was ping pong. I had a ping pong table in the basement, and when we first started playing ping pong, I would beat him most of the time. And then we just played constantly, and he started beating me all the time. And then, well, I'm getting ahead of myself here in my point, but he ended up bringing over a dartboard, and he was like, dude, I went to my uncle's house. He plays darts. It was so much fun. He gave me this. So we brought it downstairs in the basement, hung it up, or I shouldn't say we hung it up. We put it on a shelf. We didn't measure anything. We were kids. I think we were in middle school at the time. And we just found a crack on the line, or a crack on the ground, and just started throwing darts at it. We would get super stoked if we got a triple, super stoked if we got a bullseye. And that feeling of hitting those targets just felt so good. I just fell in love with the game of darts. So the reason I mentioned me beating him in ping pong all the time, then he started beating me, because when we started playing darts together and I was falling in love with it, he was beating me all the time at darts at the beginning. So I made it in my mind. I was like, all right, he's better than me in ping pong. I'll accept it, but I'm going to get better than him at darts. So that's actually like what really started pushing me to get better at darts early. So he brought over that dartboard. We would throw, we would just play cricket, no points. That was pretty much the game we would play. Fast forward a few years down the line, I really didn't throw any darts because, well, it was his dartboard, so he ended up taking it back. And then I really didn't start playing again until I would visit him in college, and he had a dartboard up at his apartment. I talk about this all the time. Like, everybody likes throwing darts. If you're around a dartboard, it's impossible to just not pick up the darts and start throwing. So I went to his place, and he would be playing video games or watching TV, and I just couldn't help myself but just to stand at the dartboard and play. And then when he would play with me, he would beat me. So, I absolutely love the game now, and he's beating me. And then it's about the time that I moved away for college. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put up a dartboard in my place, and I'm just going to throw darts every single day. And that's what I did. I ended up, getting my college apartment. First thing I put up was a dartboard, and I would just throw pretty much all the time whenever I had the time. And I made it a point. Like, my main goal when I first started throwing darts was I want to beat my best friend. That was my driving force to getting better at darts, was to beat him. So he came over one day, we played, he beat me. I'm like, all right, this isn't happening again. So I just went to town on my dartboard, and long story short, next time we played, I think I beat him 8 or 9 games, and he beat me 1 game. So that's when I was like, all right, mission accomplished. I beat him. And now I kind of got to this point where I was like, maybe I'm kind of good at darts. I don't know. I love the game, and I was going to continue playing anyway, but that's kind of when I started thinking maybe I'll join a league one day. So I went to college in Illinois. and I knew I was going to be moving away to Colorado after I graduated. So I did not get involved with any leagues or anything in Illinois because I didn't want to, you know, invest my time, get in the crowd, and just move away. You know, I didn't know anything about blind draws or anything at the time. If I did, like, I probably would have been playing in those, but I didn't want to join a league and start any of that yet, knowing I was going to move away. So another person that really helped motivate me to get better at darts. So like I said, my best friend was the first person that really drove me to want to practice more because I wanted to beat him. Then the place I worked at in college, one of the women I worked with, Dar, she threw darts. And I was just kind of like, whoa, like, you throw darts too? And she played on the local league and everything. And I was like, hey, I throw darts. Like, let's play. Like, I'm going to beat you. And she was like, no, you're not going to beat me. So we go to the bar and she whooped me. It was soft tip, so it wasn't steel tip. Not that it mattered, but you know, she whooped me. And then after that day, once again, now I had that more motivation to hit the dartboard even more. I was like, all right, I'm going to practice and I'm going to whoop Dar. So we talked smack for like, I think a year or a year and a half, and we never played again. Eventually we did play, and then I whooped her. So then, you know, that was like another mission accomplished. I felt like I had leveled up again in darts. You know, I'm going to make a video about this, but I call it the darts nemesis. You know, someone that drives you to get better. Not necessarily someone that you have a problem with or there's like a rivalry or anything. It's just a friendly rivalry, just a darts nemesis. It's someone that you play, they beat you. You use that as motivation to practice and get better. Guys, my phone is buzzing like crazy. 1 second. So you use that as motivation to practice more to get better. So Dar was probably my biggest and most important nemesis because it was at that point, because she told me, because she played in leagues, I never knew how good I was at darts because I just played at home. I beat my best friend, but like, we don't know how good we were because we were the only people that we played against. So Dar was the first person that was actually in the darts world that told me like, hey, you're really good. Like, you should play league. She told me that people would pay me to be on their dart team because in their league, like, they sent people off to Vegas. So she told me like people would pay to have you on the team because you could probably bring them to Vegas, you know, a paid trip. And I was like, oh, maybe I am kind of good at darts. I don't know. So still to this day, I absolutely love Dar. Dar, if you're watching this, big shout out to you. But to this day, if I post something on Facebook, like a big tournament I won or something, Dar will comment on, I haven't seen her in years, but she will comment on my picture saying that she takes credit for it because she knows how hard I work just to beat her. And that was kind of like I said, the start to where I started figuring out how good I was. Not that I was like spectacular, but getting her approval and everything felt really good. So I ended up so then that happens. I move out to Colorado, and well, I start shooting darts out in Colorado, and I meet some people, get on a darts team, and just kind of go from there. I started in B League because I'm not one of those people that just like to jump right in and go at the highest level. I felt like that would have been too much pressure on myself, and I may have struggled or something. So I started in B League, and I, worked my way up, and eventually was on the Masters team, or not the Masters team, a Masters team. I won Masters All-Star team, so you have to be ranked in like, I think it was like the top 6 or whatever. And then I was just like, man, like, maybe I'm kind of decent at darts. So then I started making goals for myself. Like, I want to be, professional dart player. I want to be one of the best. So I still have that mindset, and I still do practice for those things. So hopefully one day, I do have my CDC tour card, which is exciting. So I'm working really hard to keep that and also do better in the CDC. So, once things start opening up, I won my tour card a day before the world shut down. So I haven't really been able to utilize it except for the CDC Cyber Series. But I mean, that's an at-home tournament. You're not in public. You don't get points for it or anything. So, you know, I really still haven't been able to use my tour card. So I'm looking forward to finally being able to use that. So I'm getting kind of ahead of myself here. So I'm shooting darts in the Colorado leagues. And one of my biggest, or I shouldn't say one of my, the biggest tournament that I won out there. So since I was the new guy, I kind of had a target on my back. And like I felt that pressure that I had to perform well. And I just could never get to that next level because I had that mindset of I can't beat these guys because Denver is stacked with talent. A lot of the guys in Denver don't travel that much because Denver is kind of its own little world out west. But they have a lot of talent and there's a lot of players out there. So I kept having this mindset like, oh, I can't beat these guys, whatever. So a lot of tournaments I choked in for that reason because I just had a bad mindset. So the big tournament that I eventually got over that hump was the Shamrock, I think it's the Shamrock Classic. Oh, you know, people come from all over the country to that tournament. It's a big tournament. It's an awesome tournament. So day one, my partner and I were doubles 501, and we were beating some of the top teams there, and we were like, holy cow. Before you knew it, we were in the finals, and this was, I think, the first time I was in the finals of like a big tournament. And we ended up losing. I missed darts at a double. My partner missed darts at a double. And I think both of our opponents missed darts at a double because we were tied and it just got really scrappy at the end. We all missed match darts, so we ended up losing it, but we still took second place. So that kind of gave me this positive mindset, like, hey, like, I made it to the finals, my partner and I can beat these guys, or I can at least contend with these guys. So the next event was the singles 501. And I forget my first match, but my second match was against the reigning Masters MVP. So, you know, of league, the Masters League, he was MVP, the reigning MVP. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, here we go. I end up beating him. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I did it. And then I go on to play Jacob Womack, who is a very well-known darts player now in the United States, and same thing, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm playing Jake, and I end up beating him. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm on a roll, like, I'm feeling good. And then I go on to play another darts nemesis that I had, a guy that I looked up to, and like, I just don't know if I would be able to beat him. I end up beating him, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then, before I know it, I'm in the finals, and I'm playing one of the biggest Colorado darts legends in the finals, a guy I've never beat, and he's just got that legend status. You know, he would go to like all the blind draws and win most of them. He was just like a really big deal. And I'm like, all right, like, I just need to keep this positive mindset and go. I end up beating him. Like, oh my gosh, like, I came in second place in the 501 doubles and I won the 501 singles. And that was the first day of the tournament. Like, I couldn't believe how good I shot and that I beat these guys. And then Sunday came around, and Sunday was the cricket day. And I ended up not doing that well. I don't remember where I placed, but I ended up placing good enough to where I racked up enough points for the weekend that I ended up winning the MVP of the weekend. So I won the MVP at the Shamrock Classic, which is a very big tournament. And like, if you look at the previous MVPs of that tournament, like, it's big names. And now I'm on that list. So it was at that moment where I completely got over that mindset of it doesn't matter who I'm playing, I have a chance to win. And that's huge. Once you get over that mindset, your darts are just going to get so much better, and mine did. So that was just a pretty defining moment, like, in my darts journey. So that's why I kind of went into way too much detail about it. But another thing too that helped me realize it is one of the best dart players in Denver, if not the best player. We were at the Colorado Open, which is one of the biggest dart tournaments in the country. It's like a $20,000 tournament or something. And I was joking around saying like, oh, I'm just donating my money to this tournament because I'm going to lose. You know, I wasn't speaking with a lot of confidence. And he said, Nick, don't say that. Like, you can beat anyone in this room. And I was just kind of like, you know what? You're right. Like, why am I sitting here having this negative mindset of like donating my money? That's the worst. That's the worst possible mindset you could have going into a dart tournament. I ended up losing. So, I mean, I didn't do much with it at the time, but still, it was just one of those moments in my darting career where I was just like a light bulb. It's like, you're right. Like, why would I go into this thing I'm going to donate? So after that moment, like every tournament, so a combination of that and winning the Shamrock, every tournament I've entered since then, I told myself, I have a chance to win this. I'm going to win it. Now, of course, I don't win every tournament I enter, but I give myself that. I know I have the talent to be able to do it, and I have that positive mindset and try to manifest it, and it definitely helps. So that's my, journey out in Colorado. And then I end up moving back to Illinois in 2018, and I moved back in August. And that was just in time because the Windy City Open, which is the Illinois State Championship, happens in October. And I had met this guy at one of the tournaments, Jimmy Demore, and he asked me to be partners at this tournament. Now, I had no idea who Jimmy was. Like I said, I played him in a tournament. We got along. He hit me up. He was like, hey, want to play the Windy City? I was like, what is that? He's like, it's the Illinois State Championship. Like, there's doubles events. Like, let's be partners. I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up going to the tournament, and people are asking me because, like, once again, I'm the new guy in town. People are like, well, who is this? Where are you from? Who are you shooting with? And I was like, oh, I'm shooting with this guy, Jimmy Demore. Like, I really don't know who he is. And they're like, you're shooting with Jimmy? And then that's when I learned all about Jimmy and his legendary status in the game of darts. So that weekend was huge because we ended up sweeping the doubles. So we won doubles 501, doubles cricket. Jimmy won the singles cricket. And then I won the Illinois State Championship. I ended up winning, the Illinois State Championship is 501, and I ended up winning it. I played Joey Beecroft in the finals. Joey, another legend of Illinois darts, he represented us in the Continental Cup. What was it, 2019? I get my dates mixed up because of the whole, virus and everything. But he was in the Continental Cup, ranked 16 in the CDC, so a beast of darts. He's actually won the Illinois State Championship the most of the Cup's history. I'm going to try my hardest to take over that reign because I want my name on that trophy the most. But so that was another one of those defining moments where it's like, oh my gosh, like Illinois State Champion of darts? Like, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, that was just kind of like another big moment of my darts life. And that's pretty much the last one because the year after that, I just kind of played in the leagues around here, some of the tournaments. I finally started traveling for darts. I got on the pro list for the bull shooter, but I haven't shot bull shooter because when I was going to start throwing more, the world shut down and all this stuff. So that's kind of like the last moment of it. So now moving forward, it's just my goal to get as best as I can at darts. Eventually, I would love to be on the North American Championship stage. Of course, I would love to qualify and go overseas and shoot in the World Championship, the World Cup. And of course, this is coming from a guy that pretty much no one's ever heard of in the United States for darts. But, I'm determined. Like, I want these things in my life, and I'm going to go for it. I throw darts almost every single day. I'm not just one of these people that are sitting here saying I want these things but don't do anything to go get it. I want these things and I'm going to practice for them. If they happen, awesome. If they never happen, I'm never going to stop trying. As long as I'm able to stand at the board and throw darts, I'm going to do it and try to be the best at it. So that's pretty much it for my darts life. As far as Bullshot goes, I've always uploaded videos on YouTube ever since I was like 18 or 19. And it's just something I've always liked. and I stopped doing it for a while. Like I would upload on and off. And one thing was like, I just never had passion for what I was uploading. And then during the whole shutdown, like it clicked. I'm like, darts is my biggest passion. Like, why don't I start uploading darts videos? You know, I want dart sponsorships to help travel and all that stuff. And I was thinking like, why don't I just make this happen on my own? And I can help grow the sport of darts. And, you know, I'll be throwing more darts, recording videos and doing live streams and stuff. And I could potentially sponsor myself through Bullshot Darts. So that's pretty much it with Bullshot Darts, is that I just really want to help grow the sport of darts. That's why I have my Bull Chat series. You know, I talk about non-darts related stuff in hopes of non-dart players coming across it, and they see me throwing darts and they're like, oh, darts looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll pick up a dartboard and start playing. So thank you all so much that have subscribed, watch my videos and all that good stuff. It helps a lot. It might not seem like it, but just hitting the thumbs up on the videos help, the views help. You know, it just helps get me one step closer to my goal of just being able to travel the world and playing darts. So thank you all so much for helping me, and I'm not going to stop uploading YouTube videos, so you guys will be with me every step of the way on this journey. I don't know where else I was going with that. But I really want to help grow the sport of darts because I think darts is the greatest sport in the world. And I just wish it were bigger. It used to be a lot bigger in the United States, but then, you know, darts used to be up here in the United States and then it dropped, but now it's coming back up. So it's actually a really exciting time to be a part in the darts world. And I want to do everything that I can to help grow the sport of darts. So uploading YouTube videos is going to help grow the sport of darts. But also, let's end this video with the 180. You couldn't do it. So help grow the sport of darts, but then also help myself, you know, accomplish my goal of being able to travel the world and playing darts. All right, guys, that's it for this one. This is a long video. What do we got here? Like 20-something minutes long. If you made it all the way to the end, you are a full-blown trooper. I appreciate you guys so much. Drop the video a thumbs up. If you made it this long, I just assume you're already subscribed. But if not, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one, and shoot well.